you delightful human beings, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christina, aka That Writer, and today we're finally here with good old MyGM. So here's the deal. We're probably going to go through a couple different versions of MyGM this year because we need to keep things fresh from time to time, so we'll probably rotate and do some other shows along the way. Just because, well, we have about 9 months left in the game cycle or whatever, so I think that makes sense. So our first MyGM series will feature our dude Jason Frost. Makes sense to put him over on Smackdown, right? Because that was just where he was at for My Rise, right? Right. And there is no connection to the My Rise series at all. This is just like us playing with the different characters and seeing what sticks, and just having a good time. And that's what counts. Speaking of having a good time, it has not been a good time to get this video together. This is the fourth time I've had to film this video. Because, like, the first time or two, it was just, like, low energy, and it didn't vibe with me. But then, like, a combination of the second and third times that I was trying to film it, well, the sound went out. So hoping that doesn't happen here. So 4 times is a charm, right? But either way around, grab your snacks, grab your choice beverage, get comfy and cozy. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Check out all the links down in the description box down below. We already had Mr. Dark Screen. We're only like maybe a minute into the video, right? But yeah, we're going to go through the draft, and then we're going to go through the first week of just booking the show, maybe watching a match or two. And then that way next episode we'll be able to tackle weeks 2 through 4, go through a couple matches, and then get to the PLE. So that's what's on the docket. So we're going to go ahead, confirm our selections. We've got William Regal on Monday Night Raw, Paul Heyman on ECW, and Eric Bischoff with WCW. So as per usual, again, grab your snacks, grab your choice beverage, get comfy and cozy, and we're just going to dive into it. Let's go to the draft. Season 1! We have everything on normal difficulty, by the way, just so that we're clear. Each GM will start with a budget of $2,750,000. GMs will take turns drafting one superstar after the other. There will be 9 rounds of drafting. After the 9th round, drafting becomes optional. GMs can opt out or draft until they are out of cash. Now, I have a stupid question. What happens if you're, like, round 7 or 8 and you're, like, just out of cash? Like, what? I would like to know how that works. But either way, let's continue onward and upward to the draft. You know who our number 1 draft pick is going to be, right?
Smackdown picks CM Punk.
We might as well. Rhea Ripley's going over to Monday Night Raw. Charlotte Flair's going over to ECW. And Bayley going over to WCW. Okay, everybody's going after the women's division right away. That's fair, that's reasonable, and I think that's a good strategy for us. So they got Rhea, they got Charlotte, they got Bayley, and I think let us go ahead and pick up Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch.
Perfect. We got Jimmy Uso going over to Monday Night Raw, Finn Balor going to ECW. We've got R-Truth going to WCW, and now we've got our next pick. So they're recommending Bronson Reed, Austin Theory, Joe Gacy, and Grayson Waller. We just need more people on the roster, period. You know what? Let's get Bron Breakker. Why not?
Smackdown drafts Bron Breakker.
We're trying to keep things a little bit fresh, right? Right. So we have Josh Briggs going over to Raw, Ridge Holland going to ECW, and we've got Austin Theory going to WCW. So that's exciting. So I think let's go ahead and get somebody on the women's division. Let's go ahead and get Chelsea. Why not?
Chelsea Green.
Yes! Alright, Meechan's going over to Monday Night Raw. We've got Scarlett going over to ECW. And we've got Carmella going to ECW. I was like Carmelo. I don't know why. My brain is just in the toilet today. I don't know. But I do like the idea of building up our women's division a little bit to kind of keep up with everybody. But I think we're in a good spot, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and get Cody. Why not?
Smackdown drafts Cody Rhodes.
There we go. Robert Roode going over to Monday Night Raw, plus Cody's a specialist, so it doesn't really matter who we get from that point onward in terms of heels, so we have some flexibility there. Santos is going to ECW, and then Nikita's going to WCW, so let's see what we got next. You know what, let's get ratioed. Let's go with Dijak. Why not?
Smackdown picks Dijak.
Plus, it makes sense because it's like we have to keep the roster fresh a little bit with the different fighting styles. But MVP going to we almost said ECW. We're on ECW. So MVP is going over to Monday Night Raw. ECW got Ivar and WCW got Omos. Perfect. Okay, there's Carmelo now. Again, I like to showcase some of the new people. So let's go ahead and get a cruiserweight, I think. I'm actually kind of on board with getting Axiom on the roster. That could be kind of fun. Let's do it.
Smackdown chooses Axiom.
This is just turning into just a very interesting but still pretty well-rounded roster. Julius Creed going over to Monday Night Raw, Liv Morgan going to ECW, and Carmelo's going over to WCW. Alrighty, so we still ideally need at least one more dude for the men's roster, and we also need another woman on the, or at least another woman or two on the women's roster. So I think let's go ahead and get our women's division kind of going a little bit more. Let's get Piper. Why not? Chelsea's already over there. Alright, Natalia's going over to Monday Night Raw. Umberto's going over to ECW. Bronson Reed going over to WCW. Okay, that kind of works. So I think let's get one more person on the women's division, then we can kind of build out the men's roster just a little bit more. So I think that works out for all of us. You know what? Let's get Roxanne. Why not?
Smackdown drafts Roxanne Perez.
Alrighty, Butch is going over to Monday Night Raw. Braun Strowman going over to ECW. We got Dexter Lumis going over to WCW. Alright, I think our women's division's pretty good so far. We have an even number of heels and faces on the women's side. It looks like we have, I think, no, we need one more heel for the men's side of things. Just to keep things even. You know what, let's go ahead. Let's get Grayson Waller. Why not? Why not?
SmackDown chooses Grayson Waller.
We just need more people on the roster at this point, and it's like, Christina, there needs to be some logic behind this. It's like, does there? It's GM mode. Alright, Tiffany Stratton going over to Raw. Blair Davenport going over to ECW. And Gigi Dolan going over to WCW. We got $400,000 left, so that's exciting. We need probably more people on both sides, I think. Oh boy, okay, now we gotta figure out what to do with this last 400,000 or so. We just need more people on the roster. We're gonna build our roster up over time, but we just need more people at this point. There's no other way around it. I mean, Ilya Dragunov would be a great option. Okay, so some more food for thought. We could, like, turn somebody at some point, right? But I think let's get LA Knight, because that just makes sense. We need somebody that can talk on the show. I mean, we got some good talkers on the show, right? But, yeah. Oh, I was looking at Alien next! Okay, that's cool, ECW. You're so cool. Alrighty, so we've got Damian Priest going over to Raw, Ilya Dragunov going to ECW, and Tyler Bates going to WCW. So let's see what we can get. You know what? I think Ivy Nile would be a good addition to the roster. Let's go and get Ivy Nile. I think that makes sense, plus she matches up well with Chelsea. That way we can kind of focus on just getting one extra person on both, like, the men's roster and the women's roster. I think that makes sense. I know it's a little uneven, but now we know kind of, like, maybe where to turn some people at some point, that sort of thing. So I think we're in a good spot.
SmackDown selects Ivy Nile.
Go team! Alright, Brutus Creed's going over to Monday Night Raw. I think that makes both the Creed brothers on Raw, right? Elton Prince going to ECW, and then WCW got Ludwig. Monday Night Raw is officially done. Not a bad roster. Alright, ECW is up, and their roster's done. They've got a decent roster as well. WCW, they got a little bit of cash left, and they got EO, and that makes sense to me. Okay, I was gonna say, like, what happens after you, like, can't afford anybody in the draft, and then it just doesn't give you any recommendations? Alrighty, WCW is completed! So we ran out of money first, but that's okay. I think we got a really good roster, and we have, like, some flexibility to turn people if we need to. But, like, I think we've got a decent start, right? Like, ideally we want to have at least one more on each side and kind of get, like, maybe some more heals or something like that. But we'll see where things kind of go from here. But we got Becky Lynch, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Braun Breaker, LA Knight, Dijak, Piper Niven, Axiom, Ivy Nile, Roxanne Perez, Grayson Waller, and Chelsea Green. I had to. I love and miss that intro. Alrighty, here's the WWE Hall of Fame screen. Basically, we need to get 10 Hall of Fame trophies at the end of the season to become a Hall of Famer. I think this is all pretty self-explanatory. We've been through this last year. So, yeah, let's go ahead and just go for it. Week 1! Alrighty. Triple H. Tonight is the night, the debut show. We have high hopes for you. With the roster, I think we will do okay too, Jason. We love the optimism. Which means that we're we're just gonna be like out of money like week 2 probably. Paul Heyman. How's the prep going for us? Can't wait to see the battle between ECW and Smackdown this year. We think we have the advantage now that we've inked the contract with Finn Balor, but we know you've got some good superstars signed up. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Alrighty, so as per usual, I don't really like to set the champions up right away just because it makes for a little bit more interesting just television and you get the ratings and all that. So we're going to start over from scratch. We're going to have a fresh, clean slate. It's going to be great. That rhymed! Alright, Scout and select an opposing brand. Double the cash cost of their talent scout searches next week. Okay, so we can't book our most popular specialist. So let's take a look at the season challenges. So book 10 shows with a charity promo. Book 10 shows with a perfect drama curve. Hire 5 superstars. Well, at least we're all on the same page for this one. Spend $400K on power cards. Use 3 power cards during 1 week 3 times. Book 10 shows with a tag team call-out promo. That's new for this year as well. Resolve 5 rivalries with a title match. Book 10 shows with a self-promo. Make 3 superstars very happy. Surpass 300K. We got a whopping $14,000 to start out with. Oh, this is going to be a disaster. So also new for this year in MyGM, there's the show logistics, and so you kind of have to earn each of these tiers over time. And I just love this so much. It's like, yes, let's spend like half the season in the high school gym. Another big difference is that instead of a huge like free agency list, we now have talent scouts. Oh, hey, Josie Jane, what's up? So, like, you get 5 of these talent scout things per week, and then it kind of like you use a little bit of money to kind of, you know, do the search costs and stuff like that. And it goes all the way up from rookies, established stars, renowned stars, icons, legends, and immortals. And you can eventually do all this, like, you know, you can get all your superstars kind of ranking for these too. So we usually like to have a couple of pet projects per by GM, and just kind of going from there. You can set the gender, role, class, and promo skill, which is great too. And then I believe this is kind of new too this year, and that GM assistant thing, so that's pretty cool. So it just gives you an idea of like where all the history is, and just seeing how the season challenge trophies are all going too. And GM Assistant pretty much pulls up everything, just so that way you have it for future reference while you're putting together your show. So that's exciting. Now I'm going to go ahead and book the show, and after we do that, I think we're just going to dive right into the action. We'll play through a match or two and have a good time. So we'll be back with a match. Alright everyone, here we go, here we go, here we go. Oh my god, that is loud in my headset, y'all. We are gathered here for the first couple of matches of good old MyGM. We got a lot of fresh faces this year. I'm excited, including Axiom. See, they even got like just the cool entrance. Remember last year's entrance for poor Axiom? Poor Axiom. This might be the epitome of MyGM right here, y'all.
WWE
Intercontinental Championship.
Making his way to the ring from Madrid, Spain, weighing in at 154 pounds.
How did we get the smoke budget? Where in the budget did we have, like, where was any of this in the budget? At $14,000, the show was about $5,500 because of promos, and we'll recap in a moment. Like, well, we will recap once we are done watching the matches. Oh, God. Now that we have in the budget. We have the dark screen in the budget.
And his opponents, first, from Worcester, Massachusetts, weighing in at 270 pounds, Dijak.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm like not even sure if that's like the right entrance. I'm pretty sure I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm just glad to be here, and I'm hopeful that we get the sound and stuff like that, and I hopefully don't have to record this for a 5th time. It's like 2K24 is out to get me this year, I swear. First with all the MyFaction shenanigans, right? And now this with me trying to record this for like a bunch of episodes or a bunch of times now. This is attempt number 4. As I stated earlier, like right at the beginning of the episode. But we got Axiom, we got Dijak, and well, that was good timing. It's like, was that done on purpose? We got a pretty decent little roster. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
From Los Angeles, California, weighing in
Everybody gets,
at
we got custom nameplates. In front of a whopping crowd of probably, if I had to take a guess, probably about 500 people. I think that's a pretty, decent estimate here. I'm sure they've got the actual capacity on the actual, like, venue selection screen or whatever, but I'm just joking. But I feel like that's still a decent estimate, maybe 500 to 1,000 probably. Oh yeah, no, that's probably more like 1,000 people, but I mean, we all have to start somewhere, right? And that somewhere is the high school gym. Oh my god. But we got some exciting matches on this episode for y'all. Again, we're just going to go through week 1, and then, kind of go over, how everybody did, how we did, feuds that are moving onward and upward. But speaking of onward and upward, we got the Intercontinental Championship on the line. So who will be our first champion? Well, we're about to find out. Once we do another fade-in, right? Okay, well, maybe not that, but there it is, people. The Intercontinental Championship is on the line here tonight. We got Axiom. We got Dijak. And we got LA Knight. Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. We've got our main event coming up as well. We've got CM Punk versus Bron Breakker for the Undisputed Championship. So that's exciting. I'm very excited. I'm very much looking forward to that. Again, I wanted to have a nice little mixture of just like, mostly, I wanted to try to focus on more people that like, maybe we didn't get to play as last year, and also a lot of new faces too. Because again, it's a good time over here. We like to keep things fresh and interesting. There's usually like a handful of people that are just with us the entire story mode or the entire MyGM series or close enough to it, but we always like to keep things fresh. I mean, like last year, I think one of our mainstays, we had, I think it boiled down to like Cody, Rhea Ripley. Oh, LA Knight's got a microphone in the ring and not talking into it. I'm a little disappointed. Could you imagine, like, you're in the match and it's like you get a microphone from underneath the ring. You just start talking some trash and you hit somebody with a microphone. That's great. I feel like that's definitely happened at some point in the wrestling sphere of things. Oh. Axiom with the counter right there. Oh boy. Axiom with the offense here. Like, again, Axiom was in last year's game, but, like, again, he's got the cool entrance this year, so I feel like that's warranted, right? Oh, God. And then we got Dijak in the game, which is always delightful. We gotta brace ourselves to get ratioed at any given point, right? And then we've got LA Knight. Again, one of the mainstays from last year's game, and, yeah, I think that's a good summation of things. Yeah, we had Cody on there, too, so Cody's back for a little bit. Let's see here. Rhea Ripley, I think, was there for a good portion of it, for sure. But the women's division, they were holding down the fort last year with MyGM. I don't know how many seasons this is going to be, but, hopefully we can get, like, 2 or 3, like, decent seasons of MyGM, just going across different shows with different characters and different opponents, just to kind of see what sticks. Because, like, this is the fun mode of the game, at least for me anyway. I have a good time every time I go into MyGM. Like, I usually, when I'm filming this, I actually have a separate sort of save file where I just go and have fun and I brainstorm and stuff like that, so yeah. Let me know what your favorite mode is in 2K24. Oh! Oh boy. Alright, give me just a second. The recording's about to freeze, so if you see a jump cut, that's exactly what happened. Alrighty, we are back, and the sound is actually working. Huzzah. Go team. LA Knight's gonna grab another microphone. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. Whenever I see the microphone weapon, I think of the microphone match that we had to go through in the stupid MyRise story this year. Like, I genuinely did have a blast with the MyRises this year, but my god, the women's one was like, cool, we went through all of this and we really didn't get a story or anything to go with. Or just, you know, anything super memorable other than, well, we had like 3 or 4 different characters. Well, 5 technically. Oh my god. But, yeah, I've sort of dedicated and decided to have June as kind of my writing month because I have my final, hopefully final, round of dental work after an on and off 3-year journey. So I want to spend June just writing a crap ton for the upcoming series. Now, I'll probably write a bunch, I'll write a bunch this weekend because I have a long weekend with Memorial Day coming up and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's basically what I'll be up to. Just writing and just chilling and hanging out. But the original series is upon us, people. I have it outlined. I have at least, you know, like, okay, here are the things I want to get to in this. It's just a matter of, like, getting the timeline together and keeping things remotely interesting and making sure that we're pacing things accordingly. So once I have, like, an outline of where I think things should go, then I'm usually going to go from that point. When I was kind of doing last year's, it was much more rushed because we started in, like August or September, and then we really did the bulk of the series, like, the last 3 months of the game. So, that all happened. Oh boy. Axiom! Oh boy, into the submission, Dijak is down, LA Knight's... Oh, okay. I guess Axiom just let go of the yeah, he let go of the submission, and there goes Dijak. I don't know what that was all about, but we'll roll with it. Oh, we got blood. LA Knight now bringing in a chair. Can't really blame him. Oh. We got more blood. Oh, boy. I will say, I like that little added bit of realism there. Oh, wait, did Axiom get stuck? Oh, I thought he got stuck for a second. Well, okay. Oh! Well, that just happened. Huge kick right there from Axiom. LA Knight kind of got glitched out there with the chair and the microphone. Whenever I hear that microphone noise, it just brings me back to the microphone match. I swear. Oh, the microphone match. Never forget. Just never forget the microphone match. Although I think we'd all much rather prefer to forget about it, but again, it's the stupid things in the stupid MyRise series that I remember. See, like, all these fan chants are like, they're great timing. No, go after, there we go. Do your kick. Okay, I was gonna say, I would just wait and, like, there we go. Oh, man. Oh my god, okay, there's a lot happening. The BFT connects, Dijak is out. This could be it for Axiom. There's a lot happening. Well, LA Knight's our first Intercontinental Champion. Wait, what just happened there? Did you just see Axiom? He just, like, went out of the ring and took the chair with him. Yeah. But the fans weren't doing it, so I gotta pipe in that noise a little bit. Again, we're on a budget here, people, in week 1. But we got 3 stars, so yay! Now, instead of going through the rest of the card, what we're going to do is that we are going to just jump right into the next match, and then we will recap after the matches are all over. And, you know, we'll kind of see where everybody's at after week 1 and go from there. So let's get to the main event. We've got CM Punk, we've got Bron Breakker, and we've got a title and a champion to crown. So let us see what happens. But a big congratulations to LA Knight. Holy cow, this loaded up very quickly. Here we go, people. Live from the high school gym. Friday night Smackdown. This is going to be great. You know that as soon as we had CM Punk announced that he was going to be our, like, top draft pick, right? Oh, this is going to be great. And actually, I'd like to see this match happen at some point. I'm just saying, they're on the same show. I mean, it would kind of be like, you know, a good little story there, I think, right? Because, like, you have the guy that spent all this time away from WWE and everything, and, like... And Bron Breakker, he's just destroying everybody.
WWE Universal Championship! Making his way to the ring from Chicago, Illinois, weighing in at 218 pounds, CM Punk!
Here we go, everybody. I'm actually surprised that I don't have a CM Punk shirt at this point. I'm actually surprised at myself for that, but that's okay. We're gonna get there. Again, we got dental work coming up in June, so that takes priority, right? Right. But either way around, we got CM Punk Bron Breakker here in the main event of the first episode of MyGM, and I think we've got a stacked little roster so far, and we're only just going to add to it over time. And I think that's the exciting part of it, right? So, yeah, we were initially going to try to have the women's title match kind of going on, and we'll kind of chit-chat about this after. But I would rather kind of get one more woman on our women's division so far, right? Because that way we can also maybe set up the tag team titles, too, for the women's side of things. Because now I'm starting to see where we could possibly go with here. Again, where's the smoke in the budget? It's like, I think I figured out where the other $5,500, or the other, yeah, about like $9,000 or so. No, hang on here. We were at $14,000. You subtract $5,000 from that. That's going to give us $9,000, and then subtract $500 from that. That's $8,500. So I guess we had an extra $8,500 to put towards just, you know, the smoke and stuff like that. That's how I think about math out loud. I know I could just put it into my calculator on my phone, but if it's more spur on the moment, then it... I mean, hey, it adds up! Did a little bit of Christina math in real time. Oh my god. But here we go, people. We've got Bron Breakker. Oh man, we're gonna get all the new we're gonna get some of these new entrances in next year's game, and I'm just gonna be sad. Like, this theme was actually pretty good for Bron Breakker, and I don't know how I feel about this one that he has right here. Oh boy. Here we go, people. The CM Punk chants are here. And so is the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Here we go, people. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah, there's probably about 1,000 people in this gym. Maybe 1,500 if it's like at full capacity, standing room only, that kind of situation. But there is the WWE Championship on the line here tonight. We've had a nice little stacked episode over here. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this episode thus far. This is going to be such a fun season of MyGM. It's already going off the rails. But don't you all worry, we're going to showcase our women's division next time. You know, this time we didn't get to do that just because we had to do, like, I think the commissioner objective was to, like, you know, not have our most popular specialist on the show, and that was Becky Lynch. I was initially going to have her and, like, I think Piper Niven for the women's title, which I think we would have enjoyed that. But maybe this is going to be a nice little redirect for us. I don't know. Here we go. We got a 2 count right there. Bron Breakker kicks out. And I say that because we might be able to get a woman on the on the women's roster and stuff like that, again, to kind of tackle both of the titles at the same time. Now that we have our single stars about to be sort of established on the men's side of things, then we'll kind of just see where things go from there. But Bron Breakker's got the submission hold locked in. I don't know why I was very sing-song either, but if you're new, this is also a very just chit-chatty type of video, right? Like, I like to think of it as like my version of a podcast, except everybody has a podcast. I tried to actually have a podcast like 3 years ago, and I just could not get into it, because it's like I'm just sitting there and I'm talking into a microphone, and there's like nothing else, right? And I'm just sitting here like, I can't get into this. Like, I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it more if I had like somebody to do it with, right? Because sometimes that's just how like podcasts work. You get a couple people having a show together and it works out well. But it's like trying to do one by yourself, like it's not impossible, but it's still like you have to have like a captivating like perspective or a personality that goes with it. And honestly, I just kind of got bored. Like, it was like, yeah, I'm watching all these shows, and I don't think anybody wants to hear me complain about my stories. Like, I'm really positive no one wants to hear that. So, in lieu of a podcast, I just sort of sit around and film these MyGM videos and have a good time. And we still go through the gameplay, and we go through the decision-making and stuff like that. In fact, we might try to set up the card for Week 2 so that we can actually jump into Week 2 when we get to Week 2. And that way we kind of jump into it. I'm still kind of fine-tuning the formatting of this, where it's like maybe the end of the episode we set things up, and then that way we just jump into a match, for example, and just hang out. So yeah, I don't know, that's kind of my thought process, because I really like the groove that we got into where we did the 4 weeks of programming. We covered at least 1 or 2 matches, and we sort of walked through those, cards and stuff like that together. So I quite enjoyed that. And then the PLEs, they were their own episode or 2, depending, right? Because if it was WrestleMania, most of the time it had to be split up into 2 parts, but sometimes those PLEs, oh my god, especially if there was like a ladder match involved, oh my god, or a Hell in a Cell match, oh my god, we had like, I'm not even joking, we had 1 episode last year, I think it took like an hour for me to film the Hell in a Cell match, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. So hopefully they got all that fixed this year, hopefully. So now I just avoid those matches just as much as possible. But yeah, I would like to see a few things added to MyGM. Oh boy. Bron Breakker's looking for it, people. He's looking for it. Oh, that might be it for CM Punk, people. That might be it for Punk. Oh, Punk kicked out. Couple things I'd like to see added to MyGM. Money in the Bank briefcases and like cross-branded interactions in general. I don't know how that would necessarily work with, like, I mean, you can maybe tie it into the fans, right? Like, if there's like a, actually no, if you do an 8-person ladder match, oh god. That would be insane, but I mean, it wouldn't be like impossible, but I think like maybe you tie it into the fans. So like if you're in like 1st or 2nd place, you get like an extra person in the ladder match. Oh, Bron Breakker picks up the huge win against CM Punk, and Bron Breakker is your WWE champ. Look at that. I am perfectly cool with our champions. See, this is fantastic. Again, this might be foreshadowing, a few years into the future, right? But yeah, I want to see Money in the Bank, I want to see Royal Rumble, I want to see War Games and like traditional Survivor Series shenanigans. And yeah, I think that would be cool. I think that would be very cool to do. Just having those little tiny bits added into MyGM would add to the quality of everything. But look at that, people. 2.5 stars to close things out here. A big congratulations are in order to Bron Breakker. Let's see how everybody did. We'll go over our match card, and then we will set up Week 2. And then you'll let me know what match you're looking forward to the most in the comments. Now, I will say sometimes I last minute will switch out a match. But most of the time it's usually pretty much the same. So just keep that in mind as well. But Here we are, people. Let's get to everything. Let's see how we did. Oh, look at us! Okay, so we kept up pretty well throughout the night, which is great. Everybody kind of had a little bit of a rocky middle, but it seemed like we pulled through pretty decently, and we kept up with everybody, which is great. So the highlight of the night for us seemed to be that opening triple threat match. We have active rivalries over here. We have Chelsea Green and Ivy Nile in a little feud. And then CM Punk and Bron Breakker are having a feud. So we have a couple of rivalries already set up. So that's great. And you love to see it. You absolutely love to see it. Really varied show, added to the quality. Keep it up. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. We got 38,000 fans. Yay, go team. Okay, look at that. Look at how much money we have. Look at us rolling in the dough. Alrighty, Monday Night Raw, they got 38,000 fans, so we were a little bit ahead of Monday Night Raw. Just a little bit. Alrighty, 46,000 for ECW right off the bat. Okay. Alright, and then how did WCW do? Okay, so we came in second place, I think, but barely. Monday Night Raw, WCW, and Smackdown all were pretty much in the same pocket there. So that's pretty good. That's not too bad for a first week. Alrighty. We earned the Veto Star Power Card. We're going to be using the Power Cards more often because that's just how we operate around here at this point. And yeah, so look at that. We're in second place. Paul Heyman and ECW are in first. Regal is in third. And Bischoff is in fourth place. But not a bad collection so far of champions. Now, we don't have a women's champion yet, but that's okay. We're going to get there probably next episode. Let's go ahead and continue on to week 2 and set things up. Oh, no messages. Okay, now that's unfair. Hang on a second. Do you see this? So, the bruiser thing, where we can't have the most popular bruiser, they're at the same number, so we cannot use either one of our champions tonight. Love that for us. Alrighty, people, so this is going to be the rundown for the next episode. So we've got the Women's Championship on the line to have our first ever Women's Champion on the roster. We got a promo here with Punk calling out Bron Breakker. We've got Grayson Waller versus Cody Rhodes in the middle of the show. We got Axiom versus Dijak. And we've got Piper Niven and Chelsea Green versus Roxanne Perez and Ivy Nile. We have JC Jane up here on a 7-week contract, but if we take a look at this over here, the GM assistant, with the commissioner goal, we can add 4 weeks to a contract's duration, so we could use that on JC. So I think that works out, plus it also gives Ivy Nile another person to feud with after she's done feuding with Chelsea. And again, we're just going to build up everything over time. We will get to the men's tag division at some point. I think we do need a couple of extra people on the roster for that. I think the women's division's fine for now, but I think we're still in a decent little spot, all things considering. So, again, let me know what y'all thought about MyGM down in the comments down below. Again, we will jump right into a match. We're probably going to watch one of the 2 title matches when we get into the next episode, so there is that. Either way around, thank you all so much for tuning in. Leave a like, leave a comment, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button to get notifications around here and that sort of thing. And leave a comment down below, like who you want to see on the roster, what you want to see in MyGM, and just tossing any and all ideas, suggestions, etc. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. We finally actually recorded this episode, and I'm very thankful for that. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will see you all in the next one.